Hi, it's me again, Windman74, and I'm going to be showing you how to make a bow shoot with only 5 costumes, which are like frames of animation, and only 2 scripts, which are a bunch of code blocks put together, and 1 sprite, which is it's just an image that can be controlled by code. If you want a more detailed description of these 3 things, then go check out my first video. And basically the way that this will work is that you hold down the space key, then you let go and it shoots. Now I'm going to be showing you how to make it. Okay, to start out, the first thing you want to do is go into costumes, click this tool, make it have make it 3 big, and then make the line down. But as you can see, this looks a little tilted as these points aren't lined up. So what you can do, let me delete that with the delete key. So what you can do is you can hold down the shift key and then pull it down for it to be a straight line. Okay, next, set brightness on the outline thing to 100. Then find a color that's a good mix of red and orange, like this. 2 is good. And then make it a little bit darker. Maybe do 5 with... Okay, so if you want this exact color, just use these exact numbers. Okay, so next, draw another line holding the shift key. But instead of drawing it straight down like that, actually draw it to the side. And diagonal it like that. Pull this up a little bit. Then hold down the Alt key and drag it down. Now one thing is that if you're on something like a Chromebook, I'm on a Mac, but if you're on a Chromebook, then what will happen is you'll have to click Alt. So you click Alt, then you click, and then this will come up, something that kind of looks like this. Then what you do is you click off, and then you click and drag, and then it'll let you, like that. So that's basically how you would do it on a Chromebook. Next, after you make these 2, then make another one. You know what? It actually makes more sense to go like this and actually make a new one like this. But this time what you want... Actually, you know what? What would actually make a lot more sense is to go like this. And then drag this down like that. Let me just, if you hold down shift, you can... Oh, and also this is the point tool. It lets you edit points, add points, delete points. It's really, really useful. And it's used for making a lot of things. So just try to get the shape to something like this. And if you want, instead of using that circle, you could click on there, click pointed. And then hold shift, click on these 2, pull it down a little bit. But if you do that way, you would want to go like, you would probably want to go like that. And maybe pull these handles a little bit. And there we go. Now, I accidentally made this second one a little too big, so I'm going to have to edit the strings points. You know what? I'm going to make it white. There we go. So you need to edit the strings points I mean, you could edit the bow's points, but that'd be harder. Then select the whole thing and click group. Now, if you don't know what that does, it basically makes it so that they're together. Like you're moving both of them at the same time. One thing to note though is that if you use this tool, you interact with them separately, which makes this tool helpful for that. Anyway, drag it all and then make it so there's this like plus sign with a circle right there. So get this blue plus sign to snap into it. And then let me just save now. So then duplicate it and then pull the string back a little bit with this tool. Pull the string back more. Then pull the string back again, but this time make it pointed to show how far it's being pulled. And maybe, let me zoom in really far so I can do this. So what you can do is let me shift. So, okay, so hold down shift, click, click, click. Oh, dang it. They're like in the same place, never mind. So pull this one down and then pull this one down. Because it's, to make it look like it's like pulling the bow really, really hard. Okay, now that we're done with that, what we should do next, make a new one. Now, there's this color picker tool. So basically you click this, then you can click on any color you want, and it'll instantly pick it and make it like the thing that you're choosing. Okay, so I'm going to make this. Then I'm going to use a gradient, which basically makes it like fade between two colors. It's really cool. So basically, do this, make it like a color like this. Click on this to make it a gradient, and do a slightly darker color than the first one. And now watch what happens. Look at how, let me zoom in so it's easier to see. Look at how the top is lighter and then it fades down to darker. This works with different colors as well. Like, it just fades from one color to the next. What makes it's also really cool if you make that nothingness, because then it's really cool. Anyway, what you should do is add a point right there, make it pointed, delete this, and then maybe pull this up a little bit, pull this up, down a little bit. Also, this gradient kind of makes it look 3D. Let me just make that a little bit smaller. Now, one thing to take into consideration is that you have to make sure it actually looks right on the bow. So after you're done making it, it makes sense to make it look right on the bow. Next, I'm going to add like this thing at the back. So just make a rectangle with the box tool. Then hold down shift and turn it like this. That makes it so that it can only turn by 45 degrees. Then hold down alt, move it over, or oops. Yeah, I did that. Now flip it with that flip thing at the top. Now I'm going to make them both black so that's easier to see. And then I'm going to line them up as perfect as I can. Oh, wait. And there we go. Now shift, group. And then hold down shift and turn this again. Oh, and also make it white again. And put it like that. Now, if you want to, you can pull this up like that so that's a little more round. And then you can also turn this around and turn that round. What? Okay, let me pull these handles so it looks better. Okay, never mind. That's not really working. Anyway, wait a second. This part's a little too big. Maybe I should make it a little bit smaller like that. It's still too big. Let's make it a little bit more smaller. And I guess that's okay. Now go to the first one, paste it in, and now pull it to here. This is too big, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so that it fits the bow. Okay, that works. Now copy, delete, delete, paste. Now, I'm going to make it so that on these three, the arrow is in it. So paste, paste, but make it go backwards a little bit. Paste, make it go backwards even more. Save now. Okay, now it's time for the actual code. When green flag clicked, switch costume to costume 5. Why is the first one called costume 5? Anyway, then do a forever if sensing key space press, then do a switch costume to costume 5 again, then do repeat 3. Because there's 4 of these bow costumes, but you're already on one of them, so you need to go forward 1, 2, 3, like that. So repeat 3, next costume, but right before it, let's put a wait of 0.05 seconds. And then control, wait until. So put 2 wait untils like that, then put a not from operators, put not in both of them, and then put space key press in them as well. Now, the next step is when I start as a clone, switch costume to the costume with the bow and arrow, then repeat until touching edge, right here, touching edge. We'll change it from mouse pointer to edge, move 10 steps, like this, and then do a delete this clone, because it'll keep on going until it touches the edge, then it'll delete. Also, my size is at 200, just so you know, so that yours might be really small compared to mine, because I have a size of 200 right now. Anyway, now it should work. Ooh, one thing that we have to do is we have to make sure that it switches costume to costume 1 right before it creates a clone, so that it actually looks right. Oh, oops. Not costume 1, costume 5. Like that. It's working perfectly now. Now, you could make it more complicated to have multiple bows. So, I'm going to show you how to do that. So, if you want multiple bows, then you're going to have to create a variable and name it clone hashtag, which means number, so clone number. Anyway, now do it for this sprite only, which, like I said in my first video, this makes it so that each clone has its own variable on. So basically, all you need to do is, let's say I want there to be 3 bows. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a go to random position, create clone of myself, and repeat 3 times. And I'll make it so that it shows. I'm going to make it so that it shows at the start, then hides at the end, so that the clones are also shown. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this code into an if-else, and I'm going to need the forever. So put forever in the if, and then put this thing in the else. And then put this in the when I start as clone. Now what you need to do is check if clone is equal to 1. if clone hash is equal to 1. Now, this part's going to be a little hard to explain. So first, let me just make it so that this clone hash is 1. Okay, so now basically you need to make it so that when... Wait, oops, it can't be an if-else. That breaks the whole system. Can't be an if-else. Because if it's an if-else, then that'll break it. I'll tell you why in a second. So, basically the way that this thing works is that it sets its clone hash to 2, and then this is the arrow code. But the bow sets its clone number to 2, but then it has a forever loop. So then it can't go over to here where the if clone hash is equal to 2. So basically it's stuck in here forever, so it'll never do the arrow code. So it's kind of complicated, but it's not that complicated. Now it's working perfectly. There's 3 bows. And you can use this kind of thing for like tower defense games. You could make it so that instead of making an if space key press, do like take away the if space key pressed or something like that. So you could use this for a lot of types of games to make something shoot something else. I feel like the most important part of this tutorial was the how to make it so that there's multiple, because then you can use that for tower defense really easily, which is really, really helpful. So, bye. I'll see you next time. By the way, I'm going to see if I can make another video next Sunday. Bye.